This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 1650, the 2017 C2E2 Tapes. Welcome to the show. I'm Brian Christman. This past weekend, April 21st to the 23rd, was the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, otherwise known as C2E2, held out in Chicago, Illinois. And Adam and myself attended the show. And this episode, we have a couple of interviews and chats with friends of ours. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But first, a word from our sponsor. This episode of Comic Geek Speak is brought to you by SuperheroStuff.com. You can go to for all of your superhero stuff. They're pretty much your one-stop shopping place on the internet for all of your geeky needs, whether you're looking for t-shirts, hats, hoodies, PJs and undies, belts, accessories, toys, you name it, they've got it. A lot of new things that are coming through their warehouse right now. A lot of new things based on the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie coming out very soon. Of course, things for the Wonder Woman movie. You even have some things for Star Wars The Last Jedi. And also things coming up for Mother's Day. So they have always got all kinds of coupons, offers available. So check out their website frequently. SuperheroStuff.com you can go to for all of your superhero stuff. I do want to also give a quick plug, since I'm not sure if we'll get him on before the free comic book day sale coming up on Saturday, May 6th. But many of us from CGS will be heading up to Kenilworth, New Jersey, 14 South Michigan Avenue, to Wild Pig Comics, Chris Eberly's shop, again for free comic book day. And he's having a great sale going on. He's going to have thousands of 50-cent books, all at 25% off, which comes to about 37.5 cents. They have half off new trades, and they're bringing back the wall books, where there'll be 25% off all wall books. And as he mentioned recently, he was looking to buy a Batman collection. Well, he did buy that collection, so I'm going to give you a sampling of some of the wall books you will probably see at Wild Pig. He has Detective Comics 359, the first appearance of Barbara Gordon Batgirl. Batman 181, the first appearance of Poison Ivy. Batman 232, the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. Batman 234, the first Silver Age appearance of Two-Face. Also, Batman 189, the first appearance in the Silver Age of the Scarecrow. He also has, from the Bronze Age, the Joker #1. And also, from more recent times, Batman Adventures #12, featuring the first appearance of Harley Quinn. So get there early. Now, don't worry about me. I actually have all those books, so I won't be buying any of those books. But that's just a sampling of some of the wall books that Chris has will have at his sale, again, Saturday, May 6th, wildpigcomics.com. Check it out. All right, so I mentioned before, this episode was some of our conversations that we had at C2E2. And sort of the theme of this episode is friends and family, because that seemed to be what the show was all about from our perspective. We were helping out at the Benson sisters booth, just a lot of family coming by, parents with their kids, shopping, wanting to see books, meet the creators. And we met so many friends of ours because we let them know we were going to be at their booth, and listeners. And it was great catching up with so many people. So you're going to get a sampling of some of the people we talked to in this episode. Now, I hope the volume and sound is good for you folks, because it was at a convention and I had the portable recorder with me. So hopefully you enjoy the episode. But up first, Mr. Steve Bryant.
All right, well, C2E2 has started. It's just about first thing Friday morning, and I happened to walk by the booth of Mr. Steve Bryant. How you doing, Steve?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing very well. We talked about you recently on the show very briefly, that you have brought back, or will bring back, to an ongoing series, Athena Voltaire.
Yeah, I never stopped doing it. I just kept getting slower. And it's been... It's just one of those things in life where you have less and less time to be able to do the work, and I was getting really frustrated because I've got a major interconnected series of story arcs that I wanted to tell, and the guys at Action Lab were really cool about asking if we wanted to create an ongoing and helping me facilitate bringing on another artist. I'll still write it and do covers and draw like every second or third arc and stuff like that. But this will give us the chance to kind of not just have to reset every few years and remind everybody who the character is in 10 pages and then move along. So it'll be kind of nice to not have that recap space and start building up some of the supporting characters and see how everybody else in the world interacts.
And you're doing this, at least initially, via the Kickstarter, and you already reached your goal. Right.
Now, the whole thing with something like this is it's the usual song and dance, blah, 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 direct market, hard for creator-owned books, back of the catalog, blah, 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 stuff like that.
But they're in the A's under X.
Right. But, I mean, there is some credence to that. So the beauty of this Kickstarter campaign is it's providing us with seed money so that the book can find its audience in the direct market. And so the more money we generate, the more grace time we have so that, we can get the book out there. And we're hoping that as we have, 1, 2, 3 arcs and 3 trades out, that having a recurring presence on the stands and, a new jumping on point every 4 months, that we're going to start getting people who maybe had not test driven the book before. We're underway on the Kickstarter. We're our goal was 5,000, and we're at 6,300 something as we speak now. And
still, I think almost 2 weeks to go.
Yes, 2 weeks from I think today.
Yeah, I'll get this out probably as early as I can, like maybe Monday. So you still have time if you want to take part in it, listeners.
So right now we're doing some stretch goals. Our current stretch goal we're working toward is a second Athena Voltaire trading card. We're going to do members of the cast. So at every $500 increase, we're going to do trading cards, and then the alternate ones, every time we hit like 1,000, instead of a trading card, we're going to do artist prints. And the theme on the artist prints are creators that are doing books with a strong female lead. So the first one we did was a Tim Seeley piece for something he has brewing called Head Puncher.
Okay.
And then we're keeping the other ones a mystery, but I have talked with, I don't know.
It's up to you,
God, I don't want to spoil anything.
Right,
so
fine, that's fine.
But yeah, there are friends of the CGS family who are contributing, as well as probably the biggest hint. Anybody that follows me on Twitter knows what I think the best series of the last couple of years is. We're doing a print with that artist on that character, and it's a female lead. And it was published by Image, so I feel like that's a lot.
You sneaky man, you.
Yeah, so there's that. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay.
I'll be quiet and just sit in the corner over here now.
That's fine. So what is the first story arc?
The first arc for Athena is called Athena Voltaire and the Sorcerer Pope.
The Sorcerer Pope?
The Sorcerer Pope. Which,
okay.
Now, this is absolutely true. This is an absolutely true legend.
Okay.
But I didn't make this up. That Pope Sylvester II allegedly trained in Morocco and learned sorcery. And he was given, according to the legend, he was given a bronze head that could foretell the future. He was given this by 9 unknown men. Which, I mean, right there, that's all I need. That sells itself to me. So we're weaving Athena into that legend. So yeah, that's story arc number 1. It's entirely written, and Ishmael Canales, who's drawing the first arc, is done drawing issue 1. Emily Elmer is coloring it, And then I'm in the process of writing arc number 2, which is The Terror on the Orient Express.
Okay.
Which is, obviously, we're riffing on Murder on the Orient Express, so there is a murder mystery, but it's a supernatural artifact that has unleashed a monster. So the nice thing about doing this series, the ongoing series, is we can riff on different things. It doesn't always just have to be Athena Voltaire, globe-trotting aviatrix. So this second arc is going to... it's not going to be full-on horror, but it's going to kind of delve into some of that suspense like you get with a movie like Alien, where you're in an enclosed space and, all that stuff is going on. So I'm really psyched.
All right. Well, it's great to see Athena Voltaire back. Well, I mean, she's always been there, but maybe more quickly, more regularly.
A more regular appearance.
I'm tiptoeing around
here. No. I'm slow, and I learned a lot of things on that last arc that, as much ambition as I have, I don't want to leave people waiting for as long as I did, which that's another reason why on this Kickstarter, the reward is all based around issue 1, which Ishmael is done drawing. So, once it's colored and lettered, we can send it off. People are not going to have to wait a long time. Again, it was a painful lesson to learn my limitations. So that's why I'm saying I'm going to draw arc 2 or 3 or 4, because I don't want to derail this, because there's some fun stuff coming up.
Very cool. So again, if you're interested, check out the Kickstarter for Athena Voltaire, and people can find you on the Twitter as it's Steve Bryant Art.
Yes.
Is that correct? All right.
Yes.
And I guess your only other convention after C2E2 is going to be Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con. I'll be in small press, M14, my usual
booth
location. So yeah, it's fun to have that consistency. And this October, I'll be pestering you guys about the second Ghoul Scouts story arc that we've got.
I mean, I consider to talk to you for forever and ever.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, no, you have your voice right now, so that's why.
Oh, that's true.
That's why I got you right away. But before that, folks stop by the booth. You have your art here. I'm going to look at it in a second. Steve, thank you again.
Yes, thank you for having me, and enjoy the rest of the con.
Yeah, best of luck to you, sir.
All right, it is Saturday morning, early, before the doors open, and it's going to be probably the busiest day, because this is where Stan Lee and Frank Miller are going to be here. But I am in Artist Alley. Joining me is Adam the Murd Murder. Welcome to Adam.
Hello.
And I am in Artist Alley with some very good friends of ours. It's been a while since we've seen each other. Introduce yourselves to the listeners, please.
Shawn Pryor, a.k.a. back in the day on the forum boards, Optimus Black in 2007. I just retired that name a long time ago. Now I'm just Shawn Pryor. I've been named many things, including Baracko Comics, and that's me.
Better known as perhaps also Beck Mercury.
Oh, you talking about? Oh man, you talking from Beck Mercury and Adam Murd, a.k.a. Mercury and the Murd. Old school. Yo, man, that was like some of my very first comics I made back in like 2007.
Oh, yes, in the days of PKD Media.
Yes, man, way back. Man, we old. We old.
Getting older all the time.
Yes, but it feels good. It feels good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Also joining him is...
It's Martheus Wade. Your boy is back.
A.K.A. Mwade.
Mwade. Yeah, I'm back. The guy from Africa. The original king of Wakanda.
Well, John, it is damn good to see you both together again.
Yeah, man. It's fun, man. I had to give Pants a hug when I saw him, man, because I hadn't seen him in a long time, man. So I miss you guys.
Miss you as well. And how has your convention been so far? Because it's only been one day, but I would like to see how folks are doing here at the C2E2.
There's been like a lot of foot traffic. We had a lot of people looking and pointing like, ooh, that's cool. Ooh, that's cool. Ooh, that's cool. So like today, I think we're going to have a better day. We're doing some table restructuring because me and Martheus sharing the table. See, a lot of people don't understand, like, me and Martheus may not be related, but we act like we're related.
No, we don't.
And this is what I mean when he says no, we don't. Like, we are like siblings that love each other, but at the same time.
Brothers from another mother.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
See, this is what I got to deal with. Anyway,
Total deniability.
yeah. But no, we're just going to change ourselves a little bit today, and and hope for the best. But we did have some people come by. They did buy some stuff, and that was good. But like, we're hoping for a bigger day today. Like Saturday, like today is Martheus' last day. He won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, I caught you today then.
Yeah.
So no, I'm hoping for big things today.
Yeah, I'm leaving. I have to be back.
On a jet plane.
Yes.
I don't know when you'll be back again.
Oh, good Lord. But yeah. So I'll actually, that's true. I don't know when I'll be back again, but yeah. So I got to be back home, man, early tomorrow. So I won't be here at all. So this is my last day.
See the wife and kinder.
Yeah. I'm going to see them. He keeps sending me messages and stuff. Anakin talking about he loved me and stuff like that. So he was mad at me before I left, and because he wanted to come, but I was like, you can't. You got school. So he's really big into conventions and stuff now.
That's
8.
good.
Yeah, he's 8.
8 years old. My
Yeah,
God.
yeah. It seemed like he was just born not too long ago.
Yeah.
So he's 8. He's into conventions. He's actually me and him are actually working on a comic book together.
Really?
Yeah. So we got something that's cooking. He came up with all the characters, and then I came up with he came up with all the characters, and then I came up with the designs, and I'm working with him on getting the backstory and stuff together. So along with that, and Shinobi Ninja Princess is keeping me kind of busy. So
Now, my memory is sometimes unreliable. Are you doing a podcast with your family still?
yeah.
Okay.
So we're doing Wade's World podcast.
Wade's World.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah,
Fun
yeah.
time.
And it's pretty cool. I mean, it's family friendly.
Well, of course, your wife Janet.
Janet's on there. We don't have to talk about her though.
Man, you know what? You see, she gonna hear this. She
ain't gonna hear it.
She gonna hear it. Every time you say she ain't gonna hear it, she pop up on Facebook a day later, like, why are you talking about me like that? Every time.
No, so yeah, we do Wade's World podcast, and it's a family friendly podcast, and it's with me and Janet and Anakin, and most of the time all three of us are on it. Sometimes it's just me and Anakin, sometimes it's just me and Janet. It just depends on. It's kind of hard to get all three of us together sometimes, but even though we live in the same household, that's weird. but yeah, so we're doing that, and it's about like our family life, artistic, as an artistic family, going to cons together, how we deal with it, and how it affects our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, even down to like when is the time that I get to work on comics versus when's the time that Janet gets to work on comics, because we can't work on comics most of the time together like we used to, and how that plays out, and our frustrations. But at the same time, some of the cool things about the things that we do, like the things that we like to do, and how we get to share that type of input with Anakin, and how it's affecting his growth and as a person, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a fun thing.
And where can folks find this podcast?
It's on the Taylor Network.
That guy.
Yeah, that dude.
Daryl Taylor.
Yeah, so what is it? The Taylor Network podcast.
Well, no, just Google Taylor Network.
Yeah,
man.
it'll pop
just Google
up.
Taylor Network, and
And
you'll
look
find
for
it.
Wade's World.
Yeah, and look up for Wade's World.
I won't sing anymore. So, Mr. Pryor, or Shawn, I call you Shawn.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What have you been up to recently? Because I know you've been with Action Lab, you're doing your own thing, you got kickstarted, you got other stuff. Well, what's on your table right now?
Right now, it's three things as of right now. Back in October of 2016, I dropped a book called Kentucky Kaiju, which is the definitive guide to the monsters of the bluegrass state.
The definitive guide.
The definitive guide, yes, because all three creators, myself, Tracina Bowling, and Justin Stewart, we're all in Kentucky, and the publisher is based in Kentucky. So it is a Kentucky proud product. And so, but yeah, it's 50 double-page spreads of really cool monsters, drawn by Tracina Bowling and Justin Stewart. I wrote the biographies and came up with monster names and stuff. Had a blast doing it. It's a lot of fun. It's seriously, it was one of those projects where at first I was really scared because I'm trying to come up with all these monsters so they can make stuff. And I'm just I was just in my head, and I was like, oh, I got to be like this. I got to talk about this history. And then Justin was like, yo, just have fun. Just be free. There are no restrictions on this, man. Just run with it. And I was like, oh. So then I got a bottle of bourbon, and then started I took a sip,
a little bit of Kentucky there,
and and wrote up about 15 monsters in one night, and then it really started flowing, and we just had a blast doing it. November 2016, Cash and Carry Book 1 dropped. I did a Kickstarter back in 2015 for a single issue comic for Cash and Carry, kind of like a pilot type thing, and that went way better than ever that I could possibly imagine. So after that was done, we got all the rewards out for that. I spent about a year putting together book 1, and I just, paid for it out of my own pocket. And it came out in November through Action Lab. And so far it's been doing pretty well. And, I'm very happy. I'm happy, and, libraries are getting the book. Because, yes, the comic shops are getting it, but, it needs to be in libraries so kids can get to it. And, the book market, they're getting it, too. So, bookstores are getting it now as well. So I'm very happy about that. And now I just had a Kickstarter a couple months ago for a football comic called Force. Jay Reed, who's the artist on it, he just finished the last page last night because we're a little bit behind on it. But when I get back in town, I'm going to proof it, send out those digital rewards, and then after that, get the book printed, send all those rewards out, and have all the fun with that. And we're trying to aim for a fall release date for that miniseries.
Good target for a football comic.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. And there's another joint I'm working on with Chris Murin and John Rodriguez. It's called Mythos Hyper Heist. That might, depending on when it might, because Eric White's doing the coloring on it. AKA, wasn't he geeky white guy back in the day on the forum board?
Eric White?
Eric White, yeah.
And of course, Chris Murin is Chris Murin.
Yeah, yes.
Or mixes pit like something.
Yeah, the Chris Murin,
just
yes.
Chris Murin, okay.
The Chris Murin, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But that's probably going to have a 2018 release. And there's some other stuff I'm trying to do too, but trying to balance a 9 to 5, also personal time. Also, in talks with Action Lab about coming in and just doing a little bit of tweaking and helping a few hours a week, trying to help them out with some things, get some stuff cleared up, kind of an A&R type role type thing. We're in talks about that. So yeah, no, we good. It's good. I probably at one of the peaks of my creative ability right now, and I feel good about it. I just don't want to take all this stuff home. So I need folks to be buying today and tomorrow. So yeah, but no, I feel good.
Put on your shilling hat today.
Man, I don't know. There's only so much Daffy Duck dancing I can do in one day. Only so much. But no, for real, it's great because and I know I talk about this every time I see y'all, but so many cats got they start because of y'all.
Well, that's very nice to hear.
For real, no lie. For real, look, I ain't know about Martheus until I saw him on the forum boards, and that's because of y'all. And then he was on the show because of y'all. And then he did the very first Mercury in the Murd cover.
I did?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I
He
did.
the very
That's
first
right.
Mercury in the Murd cover
Oh,
ever.
cool.
I still got that piece of art too.
Hey, man, I want that art back.
Yeah.
You can't have it back, fam. It's mine. That's mine. I paid for it. I got the receipt. I got the PayPal receipt. So no, but it's all because of y'all. And there's so many folks here. This weekend, we all got to know each other through y'all.
That's kind of true, man.
For real, no lie.
that's kind of true.
A lot of these cats that are here right now, we all know because of y'all.
It's kind of true, man.
The friendships we built on stuff, yeah, man. Because
even straight from action, just from the Action Lab point of view, man. You know what I mean? Like Chad, you know what I mean? And the first time I met him was on the forums. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just, and now it's we rooming together and just hey man, what's up? You know what I mean? And that's kind of cool, man.
If there's no CGS, there's no Action Lab. There's no Action Lab if CGS doesn't exist. Because I don't meet Dave. I don't meet Dave in 2007, 2006,
right.
2007.
You talking about?
DeWanch,
That guy.
That guy. I don't meet DeWanch unless he's at y'all's table, and he had that podcast Geek Savants with Super Ugly and his other homies. I don't meet him, who knows, you know what I mean? And that's all I'm sorry, because I met Chad through y'all, I met Dave through y'all, I met Sean Gabrin through y'all, I met Martheus through y'all. Yeah. So man, y'all are the Kevin Bacon of this comic.
Kevin Bacon of comics.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
6 degrees of CGS, right?
Yeah, for real.
Wow,
For real.
that's something I'll have to think about.
Yeah, that is kind of true.
Kind of a humbling thought.
Yeah, yes, it is.
If you think about it, that is kind of true.
Yeah.
You are just far too kind.
Hey, man, I'm just keeping it real.
No, he's not.
He is.
No. He's not.
I am.
He's not.
Quit telling lies on me.
No,
Quit telling lies on me.
Well, I mean, I could tell you about the hotel.
Man, come on, don't be bringing up that story. That's all your fault.
Anime Blues Con. I wasn't the one that got a card.
No.
I wasn't the one that got the card from the front desk.
No, I got a yellow card because I'm trying to check into the hotel. I'm trying to check in, and Martheus is already there. She's the one that hooked me up and got me in.
Hey.
So, I go to the counter. I'm like, hey, my name is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And he walk up, and this lady at the counter is really nice. And then Martheus is like, yo, he calls trouble. He a troublemaker. He'd be like, partying real loud, and he'd be real loud, and I'd be drinking too much. You need to keep an eye on him. And then she was like, we have something for him. And I got a yellow card.
A yellow card.
Like
in
in
soccer.
Because of this fool.
Nah, man. No, I just spoke the truth. I just spoke the truth. And I gave the information that I was supposed to give to the young lady at the front desk, and she responded in
You
time.
were doing a public service.
Exactly. That's the only thing. I was just warning her.
This is why we can only be together for like a very short period of time.
That's why he's leaving.
And that's why I'm leaving.
Well, speaking of Kentucky before, I want to mention you doing some work for the Louisville Redbirds, Martheus. Talk about that a bit.
Actually, I'm doing them for the Memphis Redbirds.
Oh, Memphis Redbirds.
Yeah, that's in
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh,
AAA team for the Cardinals.
Yeah,
my
for the
face
Cardinals.
red.
Yeah, that's all right. No, it's cool, man. It's keeping me really, really busy. Doing graphic design for that and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why I need to be back. Because we're in the middle of the well, not the middle, but the start of the baseball season.
Yeah.
So it's and everything is kicking off and stuff like that. And this is the busiest time of the season for me. Just design wise, I'm doing a lot of design. I'm doing illustration as well. For some of our nights, we got promos like Superhero Night that's popping off.
I saw about that.
Yeah, we got like 90s Night that's popping off with Mr. Belding that's coming in and stuff like that.
Mr. Belding.
Yeah, Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell. He's coming. So, I mean, it's little things like that I got to be back for. Luckily, I was able to take off for these days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, because our homestand is we just got off of a homestand, so we're on a little break while they're out of town, and then we hit back into the new homestand next week.
Okay.
So I got to be there to help get my stuff planned and done for that.
Get the pine tar out for the fishers.
Oh my gosh,
rosin bags.
Exactly, but yeah, man, it's fun, man. My big thing though is being able to get the second book of Shinobi Ninja Princess is getting ready to come out. So that's going to be awesome. So book one did well. It went to Scholastic, did really well at Scholastic, and got into the libraries. It got into the Scholastic book fairs and stuff like that. It was cool because I got a chance to go to my son's school and read chapters 1 and 2 to his class, and then sign autographs and stuff.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, it was cool.
And his son was like sitting with him. Didn't want to sit with the kids, sat with him. And he was basically his agent. It was like, okay, who got questions?
He was fielding questions.
One man up.
It was funny because he was fielding questions while I was like sketching and reading and stuff like that. And then
My client is not going to answer that.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, does everybody understand? You guys understand? Okay, you can keep reading. I was like, what? But I got a chance to do that. So I'm looking for the second book, which is 4 issues this time. Last one was 6. So this one will be 4. I'm looking for that to actually go and do just as well, hopefully even better. So I've got a proof of concept animation, 3 animation that I've done for it as well, that I'm going to be promoting and sending to Action Lab and letting them promote it as well. And we'll just see what happens, see what happens with it. Yeah.
That's great. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but where can folks find you on the interwebs?
I'm always on Facebook. So you can look up me just by, looking up Martheus Wade. Yeah, and then you can find me on Instagram. You just look up Martheus Wade, or Twitter, Martheus Wade. And you can go to our podcast. You can email our podcast, wadesworldpodcast@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't forget about your Patreon.
Oh, yeah, my Patreon, man. Where's my card?
It's right here.
It's my Patreon card, yeah.
Right here. There you go.
I got a Patreon. It's our family Patreon, man. We're trying to be able to get money to do things like upgrade our system and be able to, podcast system, and upgrade our, be able to get all of us to conventions, because that's one thing that's different now. It's like 3 people versus 1 person trying to get to a convention. So we're trying to raise our money on our Patreon. And it's patreon.com/Mall Productions, and that's MAW Productions, and that is the Wade's World Family Podcast, and we post stuff up there all the time, and artwork, and we're giving away prints that we do. And we also are giving away, we have a comic book tier to where every time we come out with a comic book, the comic book is instantly shipped to the person and people that's on that tier. And we also have the $1 tier where you just go in and just read about our blog, what we're doing, where we're going to be at, see the artwork that's coming up, and all that type of good stuff, too.
All right. And Shawn, what about you, sir?
Okay, you can find me mostly on Twitter, ShawnRPryor, Shawn at Shawn R. Pryor. I'm also on Facebook. If you can find me normally, if you got a friend who got a friend, I'm probably connected to that friend, so you can find me that way. I do have an Instagram. It's called the Shawn P Show, the ShawnP Show, which I use from time to time. I also have a Tumblr feed, same thing. Normally what I post on the Instagram, they get posted on the Tumblr too. My website is crowntakerstudios.com. It's a little studio that me and my friends put together, showing the works of some of the stuff that we do. You can go there, crowntakerstudios.com. I think right now that's about it. Oh, and also I'm kind of like semi out of podcast retirement because the Taylor Network. Because Daryl just dragged us in.
Yeah, man.
Me, Daryl, Julian, Gil Cologne, and Martheus. Yeah. We do a show called Culture Trapping. Comes out like once every few weeks. Episode 3 just dropped last week, and it's 5 brothers on the show. It's talking a lot of mess. It's not safe for work.
No,
Please
it's not.
Put on your earbuds. Put on your headphones. Keep it sealed. And we have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to come out of podcast retirement, but a lot of it is just coming up with time. Because you need time to do it. And like if I ain't got time to do it, if I ain't got time to do it, if I can't do it right, I won't do it. So yeah. But you can find me there. Find Cash and Carry on Amazon.com or Comixology if you ain't got a comic shop or a library, or go to your library and request Cash and Carry. And they get it for you if they got the money. So yeah.
Well, thank you both for your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And have a great rest of the day today, guys.
Oh, we're going to get this money today because we ain't taking this home.
I promise I'm going to trip somebody. People are walking by, I'm just going to trip them. Hey, throw a book down. You missed that. You missed that right there.
No, but for real.
They're going to unlock their wallets.
They're going to unlock their wallets.
Yeah.
No, but for real. No, seriously. I know I say it all the time I see y'all, but for real. If it wasn't for y'all, some of the stuff that you see today may have never existed. So, we appreciate y'all and love y'all always.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
That's a hard shot.
I'm gonna try and do my best about keeping up too. Janet's gonna be mad because she never got a chance to come to
maybe the super shows. I know,
and she's always like, "Oh man, I didn't get a chance to come to the super show. I didn't get a chance to see Jamie. I didn't get a chance to do this, that, and the other." And now she missed this one, so she's gonna be really salty.
Amen.
Don't
be texting fussing at me when this is all said and done.
That's all on you.
Yeah.
Ooh, we need to take a picture, and then I can send it to her.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up now and take a picture.
And rubbing salt in the open wound.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Look what you're not seeing.
Well, take care, guys.
All right, man.
All right.
You're going to get in trouble.
All right, hang on a minute. We're doing a pants on the floor impromptu right now in front of the Benson's booth. I'm here with Murd.
Yes, you are.
And joining us also Ian Levinstein.
Yes, I am.
And one of our listeners, tell me your name, sir.
Mike Atchison.
We're just reminiscing when we were at the DC Rebirth panel. Actually, Adam and I were in the front row of the panel.
Front row center.
And set the stage for us, Mike. Why don't you?
Well, I trying to contain my exuberance over the subject matter. Regardless of my attempt, I still blurted out whenever the crowd was asked, what obscure, eclectic character would you like to see in the Justice League? And they asked, and Steve Orlando said, somebody said something about Prince Rahman. And I look like, what's the guy on Welcome Back, Kotter? Rorschach. Yeah. So I'm raising my hand as high as I can, and then as soon as I did, I was like, oh, he's coming toward me. And so I'm thinking he's going to ask me something that I can't. And, of course, again, I really don't even recall exactly what I said, except I remember the House of Secrets issues that I read.
Right. Yeah,
yes.
With the clips over it, yeah.
Yes, and then I was like, how can I get a Ralph Dibny plug in here because I love Elongated Man? And then afterwards I'm like, Tyler, did that sound like I made any sense? But he said it did, I guess. So anyway.
Yeah, because Murd and I were in the front row, and we're like, he's like, Mark Merlin, and what was his other name?
Mark Merlin.
Well, no, didn't he with the...
his subtitle, yes. Mind Master.
The Mind Master, yeah. Prince Rahman, the Mind Master.
Yeah. So that was awesome.
If you look at his Who's Who entry, it says that Prince Rahman, Mind Master.
Yeah.
I saw another eclectic character walking around as cosplay. I saw Forbush Man.
With the pot on his head?
With the pot on his head and everything walking around.
Well, I hope he went to see Stan.
I hope so, too. Yeah.
When I went to see Steve Orlando a while ago, of course, as I am wont to do, I thought of lots of characters that I would have recommended, and I thought of Aztec. I was a big fan of that.
So is Steve Orlando.
Yeah, he is. Well, then he told me the truth when he said yes, because I went to him and said, hey, I got an after the fact suggestion, and we talked, and I told him about Aztec. So who knows?
Well, actually, he's drawing on that right now in Justice League of America. Yeah, the Ray is living in the city of Vanity, which was
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Came up in the DC Essential panel this afternoon.
Very cool, very cool. So anyway, Mike, tell the listeners sort of what your background is with the gifts you gave Adam and I and the rest of the geeks.
Sure. I work for the Illinois Department of Corrections. My title is Chief of Operations, which essentially means I supervise all of the wardens, all the facilities, the operational aspect of corrections. And I was the warden at Menard Correctional Center for some time, where John Wayne Gacy and all those guys were. I actually knew him when I was an officer, but not that that's a bragging point, but I just point to note. So I'm 31 years into a career, and being fans of you guys, I was trying to think of something unique. So in my position, I have the ability to obtain some Folger Adams keys.
Legally.
Oh, yes. Yeah, great point. Legally. We kind of reserve them for persons of note or dignitaries or whatever. I thought, you know what?
Ooh, dignitaries.
Yes, VIPs. And I said, you know what? Warden Feaster.
Very important pants.
Shout out to Warden Feaster at Stateville. I called him up and said, hey, can you get me 5 or 6 or 7 of the Folger Adams keys from Joliet? He did. So my next step is when I got them, made sure they looked good, I went to a place that did engraving with brass. And these are the same type of tags that we use to carry. So I had each of them engraved, personalized to Brian Christman, Adam Murdo, Chris Everly, and Shane and Matt. Did you look at Matt's yet?
No, I didn't.
And of course for Jamie.
And one in memory of Jamie, and I put care of his sister Shawna, and I just engraved them all, and just was hoping that it would be a nice memento.
I am the warden of Iron Heights.
Yes. Yeah, I failed to mention that I asked each of them by proxy, using Murd as the proxy, what their favorite fictional comic book prison was. I asked a few months ago, and I didn't know if I'd get a response, but when I did, I just kept pouring it on and said, give me everybody Murd, and we did, and this is the payoff. At least I hope so, and it's exciting for me. So.
Thank you very much. That's awesome. I'm going to post a couple pictures of this.
Right, so you and Shane are co-wardens of Iron Heights.
Oh.
And Chris and I are doing double duty in the vault.
Okay.
And Jamie will be the warden of the warden of Bell Rev prison. Honorary postmortem. And as an added, I'm glad you went this extra mile, Mike. He put an extra one of these little brass tags on there with the Harley Quinn's prison number with a little 3-diamond logo that she has that shows up on her motley gear, and also the prison code number for Insane.
Yes, 5150. I put that as her cell number, so I thought that was appropriate.
Nice.
Yes. So.
It's the little things that matter, the little touches.
Yes,
One off of 52, you know?
That's true. I'm just tickled to do that, and I'm tickled to meet you guys, so...
And this is your first con, right?
Yes, it is.
What do you think, C2E2?
It's overwhelming. I got here yesterday. I texted my wife about 2 and said, I feel like a 6-year-old kid that's been overstimulated. I need to take a nap. And I rested a bit and got back at it. And day 2 has been better because I feel like I'm a veteran now, having one day.
That's right.
So I know what I'm doing.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, thank you again for the gift. Thank you for listening and coming by. It's much appreciated. And enjoy the rest of your con.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the hours and hours of entertainment and camaraderie, whether you feel it or not. I do. I appreciate it. And that goes for Ian and his show, too. But I can't thank you enough.
So we're going to keep them coming, Mike. Don't worry.
All right. Well, you can count on me.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the show, Mike.
Thank you.
All right. C2E2 is finished. Adam and I are at the Midway Airport in hopefully a quiet-ish area. I do hear a little bit of a hum up there, but hey, what are you going to do?
We haven't even taken off yet, and boy, are our arms already tired, folks.
So, C2E2, what do you think, Adam? I had a lot of fun out here. We just, we both flew in Friday, and we're having fun yet Sunday, and...
Yep, fun didn't stop in between times.
That's correct.
Yeah, this was a more enjoyable than average comic convention we experienced this weekend.
A lot of goods. Well, Artist Alley, first of all, is humongous.
Mm-hmm. And humming with activity.
Yes, all the various writers and artists are in there. And there was quite a bit of good, I felt, back issue shopping, which always is a plus for me. And how did you do in your diving?
I did better than my wallet did. Yeah, I opted to splurge a little bit this time and hit the $5 bin. You know, big money, stop. So, yes, I filled some holes in my collection of Shazam from the 70s for an upcoming spotlight. Some Bronze Age Batman things that I like to collect. A bunch of issues of Marvel's Godzilla, a series that's not likely to be traded anytime soon. So grab those at a slightly higher price if necessary. And just general spot filling from my want list. Plus an appearance of Kite Man.
Oh,
hell yeah!
One of his half a dozen of total appearances?
Yeah, I think it was his second overall appearance. It's part of the ongoing Len Wein Bat Rogue rehabilitation program.
Yeah, I really didn't have too much of a shot. I mean, I always have a back issue list, but, of course, upcoming is Wild Pig Comics free comic book day sale at 14 South Michigan Avenue, Kenilworth, New Jersey, Saturday, May 6th.
You're welcome, Chris.
But, because I also didn't, we only brought carry-ons, we didn't check any bags, so I didn't want to get too many back issues, and I could have certainly done that, but my goal is to hit most like the dollar bins for like recent DC Rebirth titles I wasn't picking up, because I'm really only getting Batwoman and Batgirl and the Birds of Prey right now. But I'm interested in some of the Batman stuff, some Detective, Superman action. So I picked up a couple of those. And actually, today on Sunday, I did actually splurge and spend $3 each on a couple of Lois Lane comics back from the 60s during the Silver Age. So.
$3 for anything from the Silver Age that's still got its cover on it is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I think so. Those stories are all so wacky. So I enjoy picking those up. And I'm actually getting pretty close to completing a run. I might be 20 or so issues from getting that run completed.
All right. Reach for the stars, Brian.
That's right. I'm a simple man with simple needs. But yeah, just a great con. So, Friday, the show opened. Actually, Adam, you came a little later in the day on Friday. But
about 1 in the afternoon, I showed up.
But as you've already heard, I spoke to Steve Bryant, and we hit the DC Rebirth panel on Friday afternoon. Those are always fun. Those panels, I think, that Dana Dio runs.
Yes, goes into full Carnival Barker mode.
Yes.
And tries to, pitch DC's wares. And plus, there was a panel of DC creators on hand. Headlining, well, from our perspective, headlined by our friends, the Benson sisters, Julie Benson and Shawna Benson. Plus, there was also Dan Jurgens and Greg Rucka and
Steve Orlando
and James Tynan IV.
Tim Seeley. And of course, yeah, it is Tynan. I did ask him. It is Tynan.
Verified.
Yes. Friday night, Adam and I went out with Ian and his friend Glennis to Portillo's. Good eating.
Yes, hot dogs and Italian beef, their twin specialties. And Brian ordered a burger.
But no. A double bacon burger.
Still the burger.
Yeah.
A good burger.
It was damn tasty.
2 big fat patties and generous amount of swine flesh put on top, but it was a good-looking burger, I'll admit. But I went for just 2 of the house specialty hot dogs.
And again, Saturday was the busy day. I should interject right now, if I haven't already, that I spent most of my time with the Benson sisters at their booth, just sort of being their booth babe, if you will, helping them out. And,
booth boys.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I didn't really get much of a chance to talk to them because they had steady lines, which you'll hear a little bit from them later on. And that was really good to see. But when I wasn't at the booth, I was walking around and I did a few interviews. As you heard, I did a little back issue shopping and went to another panel. Now, Saturday, you also went to a panel by yourself. It was the voice actor?
Oh, yes, the Jim Cummings.
Okay.
Who was the voice of Darkwing Duck, probably best known to comic book fans for that reason. He's also the voice of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger these days, but most of his work is for Disney. He does voices for several Disney Channel shows. He's the official voice of Big Pete.
Okay.
He's been in the business for some 30 years. He was also in the cast of Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. That did not come up in the panel. But,
yeah, that's a bonus for you listeners, then, I guess.
Yeah. And if any of you remembers a terrible horror movie called The Mangler, directed by Tobe Hooper of Texas Chainsaw Massacre fame, Mr. Cummings cited that as one of his least favorite roles.
Okay.
Based on a Stephen King story, apparently. It's about a giant industrial pressing iron that becomes possessed and murders people.
Sounds Interesting.
Sounds terrible. And according to Mr. Cummings, it was.
Oh, okay.
And so it was fun to hear, this man whose voice I've been hearing through so many cartoons over the years speak for himself for a change. And directly after that, I joined you for the DC Essentials panel that afternoon, featuring almost all of the same people who were on the DC Rebirth panel.
The second version was the first. Well, this time they also added Joe Prado.
And subtracted Greg Rucka. And it was just the panelists going through what they consider the essential comic book reads for various DC characters who have been adapted to other media.
Yeah, basically, like, all the stories you see on other media, like, TV, movie, video games, it all comes from the comics. There's also a big plug for DC's back issue catalog.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
The panelists were sort of being egged in the direction of suggesting certain things that were being pushed by DC's trade department these days.
Nevertheless, still an enjoyable panel. Again, another big busy day Saturday. And then we went out to dinner Saturday night with a friend, Wayne Musso, from Ontario, Canada. Always good to see Wayne.
Hotel buffet. Oh, yeah.
It's, again, simple man, simple needs. And then actually just finished today, Sunday, wrapped it up, and went to one other panel. It was help me out with the title.
It was called Creating Kick-Ass Characters, which is something of a misnomer, as I'm finding a lot of convention panels are misnamed. But it was really more about female comic book creators and their characters. Because it was our friends, the Benson sisters, Joelle Jones of Lady Killer and Supergirl being Super, both artist and writer in that case, and Amy Chu, who writes Kiss and Red Sonja for Dynamite Entertainment. And so they were just kind of just talking about their experiences writing in the medium and how their approach to the characters that have been entrusted to them to write.
Yeah. And again, these panels, you can probably find more detailed descriptions of them online than we're giving here, but you had to be there, I guess. But it was still...
I mean, the panels almost never precisely fit the descriptions assigned to them, but that doesn't mean that they're not entertaining and worth attending. And we assured the Bensons it was great fun listening to them go on, and we meant it.
All right, and as you mentioned on the show for the last couple episodes that we were going to be at the Benson Sisters booth more times than not in Arts Alley. A lot of CGS listeners sought us out, not just to see us, but as well as see the Benson Sisters, which was very nice. But as always, we had quite a shout-out list. And now this time around, I try my best to put it in my phone as opposed to writing it down because I have very poor handwriting. And also my memory is bad sometimes if I just can't read someone's name that I wrote down. So hopefully I did not miss anybody. There might be one or two folks who stopped by while we were out, bin diving. But for the most part, I think I got a pretty accurate list of the names here. So I will read them down. I'll read along at home if you would. And you can't do that. Anyway, Dan from Wisconsin. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, Dan. I'm just going to give it a try there. Murd.
Papathopoulos.
Exactly, from Wisconsin. And his friend John Hall. I saw them a couple of years ago. And big CGS listeners, thanks for stopping by. And a big shout-out, which you actually already heard of him on this episode.
A resounding shout-out.
To Mike Atchison, who, you heard the gift he gave us. But this was his first, as he mentioned, his first C2E2.
Yep.
And he seemed to have a good time, and it was very nice to stop by several times to see us, but mostly to see you because you weren't there every time he stopped by.
Yeah, I apologize.
But we eventually hooked up.
For making him circle so many times. But yes, eventually we did. And you know what? We got the gift he gave us through security at the airport with no problem.
Yes. Eric Hellwig from the Cowcast stopped by and gave us, now this is going to be on record, he gave me $10 to put, in Jamie's name to the Hero Initiative, the raffle that Chris is having a while take. So that money I have, Chris, anyone else listening, I will give that $10 right to him to give to the Hero Initiative.
Right. Not buying raffle tickets with it, just donating it straight.
Right. Nick Hill stopped by, and maybe you might hear some more from what Nick got at the show in the future. Or I'll tease about that. Ran into Steve Davich and his wife. Steve is a big art collector guy, and we've actually exchanged. We've done some a trade for art in the past, and we had a nice talk about artwork, which is one of the few things I will just spew on till my mouth dries up is talking about original art. So we had a really nice conversation. It was very cool to see him. He's actually from this area here. We ran into Jonathan Davis, Kurt Schmidt, who just came by many times. Very nice talking to him.
Yes, he has become the Muddle the Murd angel.
Yes, because I think we mentioned that before. If not, this is a little out of order recording. Tell us what he gave you.
Well, he has subsidized future Muddle the Murd. I've been paying the postage for shipping prizes for Muddle the Murd out of my own pocket for a while, which I don't mind doing. It gives a kind of a it raises the stakes for me in a win Ben Stein's money kind of way, I've always felt. But Kurt has now donated to that cause so that, just to go a little easy on my bankroll. So thank you, Kurt. You'll be thanked again for several Muddle the Murd segments to come. I think you've probably paid for about 15 muddles worth of prize mailings.
Fellow podcasters, Ian Levinstein from the Comic Timing Podcast stopped by. You actually hear him a little bit later on as well. And John Suntress, of course, from Word Balloon, the Bendis Tapes, Yeah Guys podcast. Always good to see John in his town when he's not out reporting the traffic. He's made a magic stop by the con. Garrett Hill stopped by. A big thank you to listener Mike Gould, because he's listened to the show. We've talked in the past, I think mostly on the CGS Best of Awards, how about the Flintstones got a lot of love from the listeners, and also a lot of love from the readers, and it sounded like something we should be reading. So they gave us quite a lot of issues, so we will be reading them and talk about them on the show in the future. So thank you very much, Mike.
Yes, thank you, Mike.
Toby, I'm sorry, do you have something else to add there, Murd?
Oh, no, just wanted to... Did you ever talk about Tyler there?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed Tyler from Indianapolis. I'm so sorry. I wrote it down. It's in print, and I still skipped it. So very good catch there, Murd. I see Toby Sanford, Drew Randa, the Dean Stahl. I haven't seen him in quite a while.
Yeah. Used to be a Poozer 71, I think, on the forums. So he came down from Michigan for the show. It was good to see him again.
Yep. Brent Schoonover came by. Always good to see Brent because he's doing some nice work right now.
He actually came to us. A few people we know draw monsters as well as Brent Schoonover. Dave Wachter is one of them, though.
And a listener named Brian with a Y stopped by, I think, like Friday, and then came back in today on Sunday. And again, this is on the record here. He gave me $50 for the CGS coffers. So that will go towards just keeping the show up and running. So Brian, again, I'm very poor at my words, and it was tough because a lot of people who were stopping by decided to break down and just cry. They would just say such nice things because again, we do the show in the studio. It goes out. We don't just go out all the time and hear the feedback. But so to meet the listeners, having this say they love the show, what they want to hear on the show, and it just gives me a boost in the arm, quite frankly. I mean, people were saying, you can't put out enough episodes for them. So we put one out a week, and that's they want more. It's like,
well, there was a time we were doing more like
four. Yeah.
Those were the salad days.
But this was a good con to get me jazzed up again about comics and the show. So that's a very nice. Oh, continuing on the shout out list, artist now, and former listener V. Ken Marion. What is he working on right now? I forget. I know he did the Bloodlines recently, but
he's had published work for both Aspen and DC. But I don't know what his most recent project is.
Of course, I mentioned Wayne Musso, Kevin from Detroit, Charlie Huffman came by. And Nathan Hartz, which we'll hear a little bit more about Nate in the next segment. So those are the shout-outs. And again, if I missed anybody, please forgive me. Who else am I seeing?
There is a Josh.
Oh, there's a Josh. Oh, my God, I forgot Josh. Oh, thank you, Murd. My eyes aren't what they used to be. Just a great show. And it's one of the top, I think probably top 5 sized shows in the U.S. there. I mean, you have your New York and San Diego and your Emerald City and C2E2, and there's got to be one other one. I'm forgetting that's one of the bigger shows in the country. But
Ian Levinstein and I have both been away from the show for about 6 years, and we were stunned at how much it's grown.
Oh yeah.
In the meantime,
and it could continue to grow because it's in McCormick Place, which is got a lot of room to spread out there.
Probably the biggest convention center in the Midwest.
Yes. All right, anything else to add before we wrap it up here, Mr. Murdo?
Good time was had by all. One last big affectionate vote of thanks to Julie Benson and Shawna Benson for making room at their table for us.
Yes. And speaking of the Benson sisters, let's listen to a little chat with them. All right, it's Sunday afternoon at C2E2. It's winding down. We found a nice, quiet place up here to wrap up the convention chat.
It's remarkably quiet over here by the dead escalators and the teal kryptonite dangling from the ceiling.
So, for our end of the con chat with the Benson sisters. So, of course, you are...
Julie Benson.
And...
Shawna Benson.
Feel free to lean in if you say anything.
Okay.
So, sort of like I did in New York, this is your first C2E2. How was your first time here at C2E2?
Amazing. This has probably been one of the best conventions I've ever been to. It's a comic book convention. It's unlike SDCC. It's like... There's no Hollywood BS here. It's all people who are reading comics or in cosplay, and they're coming to your table and they're excited about your book. It's been so gratifying, and everybody's been so nice because we're in the Midwest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the first clue that we were in a completely different convention was that people were super stoked about a Frank Miller Stan Lee panel, as opposed to like, you know, whatever the hot movie or TV show is.
Yeah.
Even though there are some entertainment guests here, like Zach Levy and a few other people.
I didn't hear anyone losing their proverbial shit over that. It was like, Stan Lee is here.
Yeah.
And
Frank Miller is
Greg
here.
Rucka's right down there.
Oh my
You're
God.
like, oh my God.
Like the huge line is for Greg. So, so that is really cool. Like that is different. And you're right. I would add that this is one of the greatest shows I've ever been to as either a guest or now as talent, for sure.
Well, it's been a real treat sitting at your booth, seeing all these people almost like nonstop for hours at a time.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys at least can. We were in it, so we can't really explain it.
Right.
You know.
You didn't have like a huge line all the time, but it was steady. I mean, like I was trying to say hi to you on Friday, and it took me 2 hours to say hi to you guys. So
you were in our booth.
I mean, so what are some of the highlights of the fans you've met this weekend and the readers?
Gosh, families. That's been the craziness.
You're sort of essentially back home-ish.
Yeah, and people are excited because we're from Illinois. So when we mention like a town we're from and they know what it is, and we're like Morton, Peoria, and they go, "Oh, I got an uncle in Morton," you know. So that's pretty cool. You don't get that in California. But just seeing the families together, and they're all in cosplay, and they're super into it, and the kids are into Batgirl, and Dad's dressed as Batman, and here's this Oracle figure of. Remember what was that thing called?
Birds of Prey.
The Birds of Prey, like
the three-pack with Huntress, Oracle, and
that Canary, they went home and got so they could bring it the next day for us to sign, and you're just like, this is the coolest ever. So that's been the gratifying part, is sort of seeing how the family, like, what did you say? The families that
family that cosplays together stays together.
It even rhymes. That's outstanding.
Yeah, I think that has been notable. I also have been interested in the number of people who have not read the book at all and come to the table and buy a floppy or even the trade and have a sign with the intention to go read it. And I was not expecting that at all.
No. Most of them were like, "Oh, I heard you in a panel, and you were such a dork that I figured I had to come here and get this thing."
Yeah, we did that a lot. We were huge dorks on
when you have Dan Jurgens shilling your book on a panel, I think that's a good day.
Yeah.
So have there? I mean, this is
Steve Orlando and James.
There's been so many creators here.
Yeah.
Has there been anybody that you were to geek out to meet yourselves?
Oh, well, last night I got to meet Jason Aaron for the first time.
Oh, that's right.
And
eat your heart out, Chris.
I fangirled out. Like, in the most embarrassing way that I can possibly imagine. Like, I literally dramatically put my purse down. Because they introduced themselves as, "Hey, I'm Scotty and I'm Jason." And I went, hang on here. What's your last names? And I made them say it just to be sure. And then I, like, dramatically threw my purse down. I'm like, okay, we need to talk. I have lots of things I need to talk to you about. Like, I turned into the biggest dork. Poor Jason Aaron. He was so sweet and tolerated me explaining all of Original Sin to him, because he wouldn't know. He didn't write it or anything. And then, acting it out, and then him saying, "Man, I should just have you, like, narrate all of my books, because that would be hilarious." And I was like, oh, I'm just really screwing this up big time right now. But that was really fun. And so I got to geek out at that, just getting to have dinner with, like, Greg Rucka and James and all these guys that have just been heroes of ours forever.
Well, and we haven't seen a lot of these guys in a year,
right?
Since the since the big Dog and Pony show at WonderCon last year, and we didn't. I didn't know who any of them were. Right. And I mean, I'm much. Forgive my comic reading sins. I was not as well versed in comics as Julie is and was, and so there were a lot of names I was like, I don't know who Dan Jurgens is. It makes I don't know.
But now you do, and you're like, wait, you were talking to that guy?
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, so it obviously had a lot more impact on me seeing them now, and of course them knowing that we've been doing our book for a year, and so it isn't just
supportive.
Because they had no reason to talk to us a year ago. Yeah. Really, I mean, some of them did, and that was great. But yeah, it means a lot more.
Yeah.
And it was also interesting to see so many people come up to your table and wanting to either like do an interview with you, or have you come to their convention, or have them write a book for you. What kind of
contacts? You make a lot of good contact at the show as well for future endeavors. I mean,
maybe. I mean, I don't know if Utah Con is something I'm gonna make it out to.
Somebody wanted to bring you to Iowa.
Iowa, that would be fun. I mean, it's also just the timing of we made this work because we had booked it a year ago, but we're currently writing on the 100, so we're tardy for class 2 days now, and we're like fearing our jobs. So getting away for these cons is getting harder and harder.
Yeah, I mean, certainly there will be occasions when we can do appearances and things, and we love. I mean, I wish I could go to all the cons.
Yeah,
I know
so
it's exhausting. It would be. I would love to do that. But
if anybody's listening out in the LA area, right now have no plans for Free Comic Book Day.
That's right.
Invite them to your shop, people.
There you go.
yeah, we
Maybe
are
we'll
happy
just
to.
crash
We may
stock.
just show up places and
Look who we
sign.
are, bitches.
Be like, hi, we're going to sign your stock. You cool with that? Okay,
We just
great.
start signing books. They're like,
Yeah.
who are you?
We're like,
Books you have nothing to do with.
Right.
yeah, we're just going to start
Jason
signing.
Aaron books.
Yeah.
You know?
And just the stack of X-Men, all of the X-Men. That's it's like 3,000 books.
And now also coming up on May 10th, I've called it Benson Sisters Day.
Not just Benson's. it's
Well,
just
yes, but because May 10th, in the morning at your comic shop, you can get issue 10
Yes.
of Back on the Birds of Prey. And then at night, you go home and watch a CW episode of The 100 that you've written.
Yes, it's a crazy day where we have both of our lives.
How did you
coming
get that
together.
to work out so well?
I don't know. It's actually
Kismet.
completely random.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because we never know when our episode's going to air when the CW does their
Yeah.
schedule, and it just
It happened to
Worked
land.
out.
It's gonna be a big day. Issue
fun.
10 is
And
fun, too.
now, do you have viewing parties out there, or
We'll probably have a couple
or like a
friends
live
out.
tweet, or
Yeah, we have to live tweet.
We do.
So
We
we'll have
live
behind the scenes photos and all that fun stuff, and little stories about shooting the episode. And then we'll probably have just a handful of people. We don't have a very big place, so just a few close friends who don't mind just having a glass of wine or a beer and pizza and watching the episode.
now are your folks coming down for that? Is it?
I don't know. We haven't planned it. I guess we're planning it right now.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I mean that's a big
Yes,
day.
of course.
yeah, they
are
came
invited.
last time,
Yeah.
so they'll probably come again.
I think he's asking if you can fly him out.
I think
that's-
Brian's like, I can come.
Wednesday, it is my day off on Wednesdays. It is. I've been
you
known to
go.
make day trips to the West Coast anyway. Adam, by the way, I'm sorry. You have anything to interject? Please jump in.
Oh,
here.
there's Chatty Cathy.
You're doing a fine job.
Okay, because we're
Continue.
What have you guys thought of this con?
Oh my gosh.
Because Adam, you don't get out a lot to these cons.
Don't
so
get
have you
around
liked
much
this
anymore.
one?
Yeah,
Because you haven't been here in 6 years, Adam.
that's true. I haven't, and I think it's been about
Yeah,
that
it's
same
just about as long.
length
Yeah.
of time for Rian too. Yeah, but I got a lot of shopping done. I'll
That's
say that.
amazing. So you're like broke, but you're having a great time.
Oh, my pockets are deeper than you might think.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so I got a lot of back issues, and that makes me happy.
Nice.
And but it's kind of at the expense of circulating and socializing. I've seen a lot of you guys,
I
even
know.
if you have not seen as much of us because you're too busy interacting with your fans and read the books and pay your bills and all of that. But so some good things have come of it. You guys have been on some pretty entertaining panels this weekend, and that's been fun for us. So yeah, this has been a good weekend.
One thing I appreciated about it, exactly what you guys said. This is definitely comics first.
Yes.
And that's something that is getting harder and harder to find, especially in the big cons.
Yes.
And that's why I love C2E2 so much.
This is a con where I see they have refillable beer mugs.
Yes.
Like-
Revolution Brewing. Yeah.
And root beer mugs.
And root beer mugs. It's like, this is great. Why is this not everywhere?
Yeah, we missed out on that. We should have bought our mugs on Friday.
Rookie
and
mistake.
I know. We will never make that mistake again.
Never.
Because we've learned that you can actually use the same mug at other cons. So, I mean...
Yeah, you can.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just
All right.
changed everything.
Okay.
So...
Well, one of the coolest things for me to see was your artist on some of your titles, some of your books. Roger, help me out. Roger Antonio
Roger
is here. He's from Brazil. He's right across from you.
Yeah.
And this made me both deeply jealous and deeply proud when he presented you with the original art page with Barbara Gordon looking in the mirror, seeing if she thinks she's Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, Oracle, she's all three. It's a beautiful page, and he gave it to you.
He did. I don't know if we were supposed to pay him, but we did not. We just ripped it from his hands and made him take a picture with us and tried not to cry because it's such a beautiful page and it's going to be hung in our. So I know how much you wanted it, Pants, but it's
like
going
I
to
said,
a good home.
Like I said, I am jealous and I am very proud at the same time.
But also one of your listeners, what they did.
Oh yeah, our listener Nate. My gosh, he brought over.
Still never gonna.
She showed me some art he brought. He picked up a page from the Vision number 7.
Yep.
And I was looking at it and said, boy, this is gorgeous. I got to show it to Julie. So I showed it to Julie.
Ian just fainted.
I showed it to Julie, and Julie's literally speechless.
Yeah, I couldn't say anything. It was like so gorgeous.
And he goes, yeah, he's got one more page. You don't know art that much. So you ask him how much it costs, and he told me how much it costs. And 5 minutes later, he comes back and he gives you the page.
Yeah, he went and
the
bought
one page
it.
that the artist had for Vision number 7.
He gave it to me, and I thought I was going to cry again.
See,
and instead, I jumped up, and we took a picture, and when we get home, we're going to bawl our eyes out for sure. But right now, I'm just trying to keep it together.
And you've known this for a little while, that our listeners are just
amazingly
supportive and
Comic Geek Speak
generous, and it's very humbling.
I mean, we owe a great debt to all of you fellas.
There were so many people that came to the booth to see you guys, by the way.
Yeah, that was also
because
really
you said
strange.
where you would be, and so they would like take off to go look in the back issues, and then somebody would be like, "Hey, our pants are Adam around," and we're like, "Hey, look, we write Birds of Prey, mister."
Batgirl and the Birds of Prey.
But no, everybody was so amazing, and it was so cool to see your guys' fans, because we're fans of your show, and so it was really gratifying to see what an impact your show makes. I mean, everywhere. It's so cool.
It's been a wonderful weekend for just catching with family and friends, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Seen a lot of family and friends since we've been here, since this is kind of home turf.
Yeah.
We're going to have to come back and actually go downstate and see our family that's still at Grandma, but this trip was not going to be it. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to spend actual quality time with Grandma, not here.
Yeah, not at a convention.
Any last minute thoughts before we wrap it up here? We've reached about the 12-minute mark of our conversation.
That's about it. Come to C2E2 next year because I guarantee we'll all be here again, right?
Yeah. If
Deal?
they let us come back.
They let us come back. That's true.
If we didn't wreck the place.
If there is a next time.
If there is a next time.
All right, well, real quick, I'll wrap it up here. And follow along with me again. This episode is brought to you by SuperheroStuff.com. We go to for all of your
Superhero stuff.
Excellent.
Outstanding.
If you want to leave us a voicemail, number is 267-702-6642.
Wouldn't it be scary if I had that memorized? I don't.
Well,
I barely
should.
know my phone number.
I don't.
You can send us an email. We're comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. We're Comic Geek Speak. You can join the conversation to talk back about this episode, any other episodes, comics, say how much you love Back when the Birds of Prey. You can go to thecomicforums.vanillaforums.com. We want to thank everyone who contributes to the show, gives us things. We got some money to help out with some of the Murd shipping this weekend.
Yes, Mr. Schmidt will get his due next time we have one of those segments.
We really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. And as always, come on, Julie. We are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.
I did it!
You did it in one take.
We miss you, Sal.
Yes, Sal. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot.